Hello, everyone. Just making sure that the streaming is working. And if you can see me, say hello. And if you're on the live, absolutely join in for a beautiful conversation. And if you are watching on the replay, absolutely also join in for a beautiful conversation. I would love, love, love to have you feel into you, embrace your presence, whether you're here with me right now or across the time and space that we all are living in a parallel reality as it is, isn't it? So, welcome, beautiful one. I really, really hope that you're having a beautiful day, and I am so excited to be here. My heart is bursting with gratitude and excitement. I have a couple of things I wanted to talk about today, and just to come to you with really some of my really potent and very, very, very heart centered transmissions. And I oftentimes talk about really moving with the energy that wants to move in you. And for me, I do that a lot in my writing. I can never stop writing as it is. And also through my voice. And it is a constant practice for me, especially with talking, because very recently I've become a little bit more conscious, I think, a little bit like, ooh, this is how I sound like. Because if you didn't know, I've recently been officially inducted into Insight Timer. And, being on Insight Timer is such an honor because I'm amongst so many amazing luminaries in the field of wellness, and to be able to be there on that platform is really, really an honor. And I started to get really conscious of my voice because when I upload meditations and things like that, I have to listen back to that and just kind of like check in and see if the sound is okay and things like that. And it's funny to say that because I do a lot of lives on Facebook and Instagram, and yet I never really ever really turn back and rewind and watch it again or anything like that. And even if I did, it was in those rare occasions when I do, I often think that, oh well, that's all right, it's fine to leave it up there and have it be shared as it would on its own. It's I truly believe that once I share something, it's got a life of its own, and it will go into the hands and the ears of the people who will need it. So that's where I'm at with that. So being in that space, I really felt that there are some emotions here that wanted to move, and so I allowed that to move and allowed that to really, really come up for me. And hello, hello, hello. Welcome, beautiful one. To allow the emotions to run free on its own, and not to constrict it, or not to come from a place where I feel like I need to fix it, I was able to really quickly move them through and really allow myself to feel what needed to be felt. And when we feel into something, that was when I was like, oh, I really want to talk about this. When we feel into something, that is when it leaves a cellular memory. That is when something becomes real, and when it leaves like an echo in the unified field. It leaves an echo in the cosmos. It leaves an echo in the universe. And that reverberation, that resonance will continue to grow in the universe. And the universe, let's not forget this, the universe is literally you. The universe, the energy of the cosmos, the universe is constantly channeling and funneling down, and in this galactic proportion is funneling and channeling, really compressing into what we call the physical self, the physical matter that you see here. And so it is ever more important for me to really share that, this is the core of what I do with my clients in the work that I do. I hold that tension between heaven and earth, you know, being able to be the priestess who brings down the transmissions that are nonverbal and then bring it down to bridge the seen and unseen worlds is a very important step for me to guide the women who I work with, because then they know that whatever they fear is not actually something that is real. It really is so important to say this, because oftentimes the fear comes because we want something, because we care about something. That's why we fear. Whether it's a fear that we will lose it, whether it's a fear that it wouldn't work, all of these things are, fear comes as something I feel is a natural thing now, because I understand fear as what it is. Even though there are times, and I'm not saying that I know why it comes up or whatever, in the time when it happens, I know that it almost will always come along with things that I truly want. So whether it's like, for example, getting a skincare brand that's a little bit more luxurious, but I would absolutely spend my money on it. Does it come with the fear that, oh, well, you could probably get a cheaper one? Yes. Does it come with a fear that maybe my loved ones or my relatives, especially my mom or my husband, would probably think that's a little bit much? Yes. But do I want it? Yes. And do I understand now why I fear those things? Yes. And so I go with the feeling, because when I feel that desire, I feel I want this, and I feel how good it is to have this. Every night when I put it on my skin, it feels so good. That's when I leave an echo in the unified field. And as we all know, or maybe you don't know yet, but when you create from the unified field, you can absolutely create from limitless potential. The unified field is exactly where you're putting the things you desire, and it's where you deposit it, and that reverberation becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where you can manifest all kinds of miracles. There are many things that you can't even explain that would happen to you. This is truly something I've witnessed, and I also have experienced it myself. The one issue that happens often, and I'm saying this because all of us have that ability to deposit that vibration of frequency in the unified field. The reason why we don't actually get what we want is because we don't set our emotions free. We don't allow ourselves to feel. We feel guilty when we feel good. We don't allow ourselves to feel the energy, the emotions that are surfacing for us. And oftentimes we get to that place where we want to fix things too soon. Hello everyone. Please say hello if you're watching. I would just love to, especially if you're on Instagram. I don't know what your real name is, so please let me know. I'd love to say hello to you. Where was I? So I really wanted to share that a lot of beautiful things can come when we truly allow ourselves to just sit with the emotions and learn how to move those emotions. When I say move, I really mean in a very productive way of moving things through, because when energy is flowing, that is when healing happens. When the energy is not flowing, then healing would be a secondary priority to the body. The body would not pay attention to that until it needs to. Hello, gorgeous one from Malaysia. Hello. Oh, I would love to be in Malaysia for now because it's really cold today in Edinburgh. Oh my goodness. I always say that, but when I get back to Malaysia, I'm like, oh my God, I need to go back to Edinburgh because it's so hot here. So, isn't that crazy as human beings? Oh my goodness. Every time I notice myself doing that, I just tell myself to be present, to love where I am, and to really look forward to where I will be as well at in the same time. And that is the duality, that's the polarity I talk about all the time, when I'm working with my clients. It's not about really becoming this Zen monk or like this sage who's like completely enlightened and you don't feel anything anymore. It's not that. It really isn't that. It's to really understand how you can achieve heightened states of consciousness, to continue to grow and enlighten and expand your consciousness so that you can carry more vibrational frequency, higher vibrational frequencies, and at the same time know how you can embody that, know how you can bring that down to this dimension and actually live a life that you fully love. How many of us can truly say, I fucking love my life? I truly want to say, I want to be able to share this work because I want every woman to feel that they deserve and love fully what they do, how they live, and who they are. And it's sad to say I don't actually know a lot of women who can say that, but at the same time I can hold that tension of that sadness. Hello, Alex. I can hold the tension of that sadness at the same time and also let that fuel my ambition, to fuel my wish, to fuel my hope of creating that reality even before I can see the evidence of that materializing in the world. And I think that is what we haven't been taught. We have been conditioned to believe that when we don't see it, then it's not happening. When we don't see it fast enough, or we put a deadline on things and they don't appear, that means it's not meant for me. That means it's not going to work. That means it's crazy. That means that it's insane. I'm sure you've heard of stories of amazing people who were called crazy, who have now left a legacy in the world that we live in. And I think we have to go to a certain amount of crazy, because when people say we're crazy, it's pretty much because we're living a life that is different from theirs. That's all that is. It really is that. And when you know that you feel that certainty of like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing, but I just feel this so much. I can already feel it. You're working in tandem with the unified field. And then it will go faster and faster and faster, and things will start to churn faster and faster. And that is how it funnels down into the physical realm and becomes your reality. If you can feel it even stronger than ever, the reality will come to you even faster. That is what I call keeping a clear channel for things to come in, keeping a crystalline vessel for things to funnel in and be projected out into your reality. That is essentially our job. Our responsibility, our radical responsibility, is pretty much to keep a clear pathway, a clear channel for all these amazing cosmic magnificent light to come in. When the light hits the earth, it produces a physical matter. When it produces a physical matter, that physical matter is a reflection of our vibrational frequency, our light, our cosmicness. What are we allowing in, basically? So, for example, if you're not seeing what you want to see in your life right now, in certain things, I would absolutely say, how much of your gateway, how much of that doorway are you actually opening up to allow in your full potential, your cosmic light? right? Because we are all energy. Everything around us is energy. There is no exception to that. So if we are talking about creating a reality that is beyond our wildest imagination, first and foremost, we've got to own that. We can't be sitting in like a festering pool of guilt and shame and embarrassment, of fear of failure, of fear of, oh my God, what would they think of me? What if I fail? What if it doesn't work? What if I'm not good enough? All of these things are going to create a distortion in your cosmic gateway. So your light, your potential can't be here fully. Basically, there are distortions in the pathway that's creating a wobble. So first and foremost, if you're like, oh my God, this is like, wow, mind-blowing, okay, awesome. If you're still listening to me, even better, because I want you to know that your feelings are absolutely the key to this, to transcending this, to embracing this, to allowing this, to practicing this, to cultivating this vortex of stillness that we're talking about. Because it is in the not needing to know, in the openness of your heart, your openness of the mind to receive, that stillness comes. And in that stillness, you get to access that unified field that we're talking about. And that is when you leave your imprint, you leave your echo very deliberately, so that you can create from that source energy. Because you really don't have to operate alone based on willpower, based on your human mind, when there is so much more out there here to support us. And I'm not talking bullshit. If you're a person who's thinking, oh my God, where did she get all these things from? I can't really tell you where I got this from, because I just felt them. Whenever I sit in meditation, whenever I sit in ceremony, I always feel them. They feel so real to me. And if you're still one of those people who are like, I need evidence, I'm logical, blah, 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 you can pretty much check out quantum science stuff. I don't know, Dr. Joseph Dispenza comes to mind, but there's so much more out there right now that you can access so easily in terms of information. Yeah, stillness is so important, absolutely. And, now that I've touched upon information, I also want to say, like, information is so easily, readily available for all of us now that we kind of take that for granted, to be honest. We've become all these information crunching animals that we just read and maybe even scroll past and just kind of like glance through. And then we forget that in order to have the transformation that we desire, in order to have the heightened state of consciousness that we desire, the expansion that we desire in life, or the awakening, in order to have that, we have to integrate that. We have to embody the information. So it's not enough to be like, yeah, I've studied this, I've read that, like blah, blah, blah. It's just like going to school. Teachers asking you to memorize the timetable. Teachers telling you to memorize the names of all the states in your country. So what? You've got it in your memory, yes. But you don't embody it, do you? Like, it's not you. It's just something that feels separate from you. It's something you know, basically, right? But being in a higher state of consciousness and actually seeing that happen and materialize in your dimension is a whole different ball game than just getting the information that you need. In this live session, I can tell you everything, but then the next step is really up to you. How do you want to up the game? How do you want to step into your potential? How do you want to transform? How do you want to make this transformation actually happen and not something that just slides off your ear, right? Like you just hear it and you're like, yeah, that's right. And then you kind of forget about it because you don't walk and live and breathe it. So it is important that we understand that we have to, we gather the information. And if you truly want it, that want is an echo in the unified field. That is when things start to appear in your life, where it says, you've got this option, you've got this option, you've got this option. Do you want to use these options for your transformation and your integration? Yeah, okay, then you get to choose, right? But so often when people see these options, which are actually the solution to their questions, to their quandary, they tend to think, oh my god, I would do anything but maybe not that. Oh my god, I would do anything to change my life, but maybe it can be something else than that. And that is the fear I was talking about at the beginning of this session. Fear always comes hand in hand with want, because you care, because you want it. And it can be even at the very foundational level of like fearing to even say you want it. So my love, I truly believe that you are made of magic. All of us are. But we have to make a choice to break free from these conditioning that are keeping us really, really small. And I truly felt it in my every fiber and bones when I woke up from that little box and realized that, my God, I'm squashing myself so thin and neat into this little box. And that's not okay in my books. I want to be free. I want to feel all my emotions. I want to know how to actually feel my emotions and then alchemize them into pure potentiality, and then go out and keep living in a way that I feel so immensely proud to live. And that means really making some decisions in my life. You know, what do I want to know? And then when I know, what do I want to do about it? You know, if that is something you feel deeply in your bones as well, in every fiber of your being, then go make that bold move today. And it is so important to mention that time is so finite, and oftentimes we get so caught up in, oh, I can't do this because I don't have enough money. Money is energy. Money is absolutely energy. And if you don't believe that this energy can come back to you, that this energy is infinite, then honestly speaking, there is a foundational lack of belief in yourself. That's really, really important to understand and be aware of. So start to believe in yourself. Choose yourself. Choose yourself today. And then tomorrow, choose to lead yourself. Lead yourself out of that dark hole. Just one step. Stepping out of there and say, I'm choosing to lead myself today. What can I see? And go from there. And you know, truly, truly, I believe that to collapse time, working with a mentor is absolutely vital and so beautifully mind-blowing in every way. And that was my choice. That was my decision. And that is the reason why I want to do this. I want to do this and be able to help you collapse time in the way that I know how to. And the beautiful thing is, with the underpinning modality of tea as a medicine and tea ceremonies, where we really live and breathe life into a ceremony with the spirit of tea, the spirit of beautiful ancient sages and shamans and tea monks, Buddhist monks, Zen monks. We're walking with these ancestors in a huge way that don't even need words, and that transcends the kind of linear healing that we are so used to in this world. That's when we drop into a world of non-linear healing, and so much more transmissions can come through. And all I do is really hold that crystalline vessel for these things to channel through. And that is when healing really takes a precedence. And what happens is that you remember your wholeness. You remember your cosmic magnificence in your own way that I can't even imagine, because it's a co-creation. And that is what makes this work so special and so sacred. So I think that's all I want to share today, my loves. I have a 2 day free embodied experience coming up. So if you're intrigued and you are called to really explore this work, you can come and join me. It's called Woman Forged in Magic. And the link is in my bio to sign up. The link is also in the description to sign up. It's absolutely free. Just come and have fun. 2 days. Okay? Replays will be available as well if you can't make it live. I have an option to access an intimate circle on Zoom. And yes, it's unfortunately for women only, but if this calls to you to share, you're very welcome to do that as well. Please do share that with people that you think can be really resonating with this work. All right, my loves. So sending you so much love and have a beautiful weekend. Blessings, tea blessings, raising a bowl. Love, love, love.